All right. So let's talk about the types of flood. Fundamentally, there are four types of flood: flash flood, rapid onset flood, slow onset flood, and storm surge flood. So let's talk about very first, which is flash flood. So what happens? This flash flood it develops in less than 6 hours of time. So which are the areas? It occurs everywhere. It occurs everywhere, but most likely it occurs at lower altitude area or places which has got poor drainage. So let's say this area is higher altitude, this is lower altitude. Again, this entire land, it doesn't mean that it seems flat, it is flat. If we create grade, hmm, so all the grids has got different levels. So there might be some low altitude, there might be some high altitude. So wherever it is low altitude, it is most likely to get flash flood. It happens due to heavy rainfall or probably all this past reasons how the flood is created, flood is occurred, and there is second reason why flood occurs on this area. One is it is lower altitude, and second is it might have poor drainage system or poor storm water drainage system. So what happens? It water is accumulated and then it percolates slowly to the ground, and until it get percolated, it takes plenty of time to percolate the water, and this entire area will be flooded for a couple of days. So now this flash flood is dangerous because it gives no warning. It doesn't give any warning. Second, it doesn't give you any preparation time because there is no warning. So it won't give you any preparation time, and it is very devastating because if since you are not aware of it, it makes devastating effect. Let's talk about rapid onset flood. So rapid onset flood, it stays for 1 or 2 days. Mm. And again it is also it creates more damage, and it gives really less time to evacuate the this place space. The third one is slow onset flood. It So let's take an example. Mm, let's say this is again somewhere over here. We have got check dam, and the distance between these two is in thousands of kilometers. So what happens, like whenever there is heavy rainfall on this region, what happens, that entire water accumulated, just hold on a sec, this water accumulated to back of the reservoir, back of the check dam, and it is reservoir. Still there is water pouring and pouring, and then it brings more water to the dam. So now you already know there is water, and there is heavy rainfall on upstream. This is upstream, this is low stream, right? So you already know what happens. This area is low altitude, so this water get flooded. Now eventually what happens, you have time to evacuate the space. You have time to evacuate the space because you already know there is still heavy rainfall upstream For an example, uh, if you know, again, let's take an example of MP and Maharashtra. We have got more rainfall, and then it collected at the back of the Ukai Dam, but still there is more rainfall. It gives you the prior notice. You know, all the time we have got, like, headline of the newspaper is the check dam rule level is 343 or somewhat like that, right? And then they say like the highest level is 3 so and so, whatever number is. So you already know that this number, up till this number is filled, we are safe. But once we get closer and closer to this number, it is getting unsafe. So that much time will be given, will be gained by the people who is aware of this number. So they can evacuate the space. They can migrate to somewhere which is higher in level, higher altitude. So that gives more time. But now there is a problem again. What happens? This water stays for longer time to uh, go to the river or maybe sea, and then it will stay for, let's say, days or weeks, and then eventually it create uh, it brings disease to the land. So for an example, Surat got affected by flood, I think 1996, 1996, I guess. Yeah, and then we got plague. So similar sort of, disease would have been spread. For an example, Bangladesh always get flood from river Brahmaputra, and then it stays for longer due to the topography of the Bangladesh. And that is the reason it has got plenty of diseases. The fourth type, which is storm surge flood. So basically, when there is a hurricane or somewhat like this, and that brings water from the sea to the coastal region, and or the rain precipitation due to heavy wind to this region. Now, this pressure difference happens so quickly that create flood on this area so quickly. So now again, it is also devastating. It is again very dangerous. It doesn't give any time to the people to evacuate the space. On top of that, there is wind which is, going on, passing through the land very quickly and very rapidly. There is rain, there is flood. So this kind of floods are most likely to be dangerous. This kind of flood happens mostly on coastal region, where and mostly in United States, southern part of United States, southeast part to be precise. So Miami or Florida, they got affected by this kind of flood. So hope you got everything so far, by far, whatever I've explained. Now what I wanted to do in terms of your submission is, you gonna divide your class into 4 group. Each group will take one type of flood, and you're gonna analyze what kind of buildings they make into this kind of flooding area. Excuse me. I'll give you the name of flood once again. The type of flood is: number one is flash flood, number two is rapid onset flood, RAPID ONSET Number three, slow onset flood. Number four, storm surge flood. So each group will do one type of flood, and what kind of buildings they have got in terms of its foundation, in terms of its structural system, in terms of their orientation, what kind of material they use, and then you're gonna have a presentation on this. So you divide yourself into four groups. We'll be uploading a presentation as well, on which you can read the data. So kindly go through that presentation too. We'll be uploading within few hours, once I'll upload this. So just kindly go through that as well and refer this audio video presentation as well. Hope you guys will take care of yourself. Good, you follow government guideline to make yourself safe. Don't go out of the house. Stay home and be safe. I wish you the best and thank you so much, and see you next time. Take care.